Yeah. Okay.
My back just dropped underneath me right there.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Let's see who pops in here. Let's see who pops in here. Food Mooch, Dan Smith, Peterbilt Mark. How's it going? Sorry, I'm doing something here on my tablet. Don't know if we'll get the better Saturday Night Live, says Dennis Smith. I appreciate that. Everybody's out watching the new Star Wars movie, right? We were going to go, but tickets are sold out. So, yes, sir. Evening, sir. Big Rich, Pale Rider, Music Trucker Bandit. What's going on? Stephen Tucker. Stir World. Good evening time, my brother. Says 312 D-Man in Florida. Big Rich. Never seen a Star Wars movie, says Dan Smith. Hydro Tony. Food Mooch. Alright, guys. Let me do something here real quick. Copy link. So, Saturday Night Live. Shadow Wolf, James Sezong. How's it going? Saturday Night Live. This is the time where you guys can ask me any question you want. There's nothing in really particular we are going to talk about. It could be trucking, metal, life in general. And turn this down here. Skip the ad. Thor is here, so we can start the party now. Dennis Smith asked, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Not much. Lisa, what's up? Hey, did you see this? You got a wrench there, Lisa. All right. Let me put my thing in here. There we go. There's the Facebook page. So, Food Mooch is in the house, welcoming everybody inside here. Shadow Wolf, I think I already said hi to you. Lisa, yeah, you're seeing this live for a change. Everybody make fun of Dan Smith for not seeing a Star Wars movie. Now, one of the movie channels on satellite is doing a Star Wars marathon. And the new prequel series, or the newest, not new, but the episodes 1 through 3, they are, I tolerated them. I wasn't a total purist and hated them, but now, with these new movies, as good as they are, those old ones are crap. In my opinion. Gary, what's up? Freight Shaker Gary. Thank you. Thor, I thought you would appreciate this shirt. It's one of 2 Amon Amarth shirts I own. One of the few bands that still makes fat boy sizes. And Amon Amarth is one of my favorite. They're one of those bands that doesn't matter what they put out, you know it's going to be good. You don't have to stream it first. You don't have to look for a YouTube video first, see if it's any good. They always consistently put out a good album. Them, Cannibal Corpse, are my 2 favorite death metal bands. Play a song on the guitar, Steve. James, I thought about that, but I haven't played in quite a while. We haven't practiced in quite a while because I've just been busy, and I didn't want to embarrass myself. I need some of your current music. All I have is Apnea. Yeah, we still need to record some Sulk, Lisa. Our other guitar player, he's good at making demos, and we've got a few things recorded as far as demo-wise, where he recorded all the instruments, and I thought about throwing some vocals on it and throwing it on our Facebook page. Shows the evolution of technology, says Bandit. Big Rich digs Amon Amarth. Well, that's cool. My favorite Cannibal Corpse song is Hammer Smashed Face. Jonathan, that is a great song. Their new album is really good. You know, there's always this debate, Chris Barnes or Corpse Grinder, and I prefer the Corpse Grinder vocals, but Chris Barnes was on the classic albums. My favorite album by them is The Bleeding, and but the new one's pretty good. Am I drinking? No. No, I'm not. I meant like a Christmas carol or something, says James DeJong. Nope, that ain't gonna happen. Jingle Bells, death metal style. I'm sure there's something on YouTube you can find. It's a prop. It's a prop. It is not Halloween wine. Let's just say that. So anyways, today was kind of uneventful, although I did get a Christmas gift early. And two Christmas gifts early. The first one is my wife went and got my pickup truck windows tinted. How about them apples? Daniel Adami, what's up? Not only did she do the side windows, but she got the dark strip across the top there on the windshield. So that was very nice of her. Oh, the back is darker than it used to be.
You'll be able to tell better tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Cool. And then the kids, you know, I've been talking about getting a natural Christmas tree. And the kids went out and spent their own money, went to a local hardware store nearby and got a little short tree because we got cats in the house, as you saw by the thumbnail. And they're still at the stage of, let's destroy everything that's pretty. So, the tree is minimally decorated, but it is decorated. So instead of like a full-blown Christmas tree with all the lights, we got a Christmas tree with a few ornaments and the lights are on the wall behind it. So, I do got it going on in the house. Shadow Wolf. Anthony T, Rick Jones. So, now my crowd isn't as big tonight, probably because Coach is live talking about stuff that Jeff has asked me not to talk about. And I have no problem with that. Sometimes you got to let things go. And some YouTubers can't do that. So let's not feed the trolls, right? All the trolls are over there anyways. I got good people in my live chats, right? So, sorry about the wet hair. I just took a shower. Let's see. I got a low book for Tuesday. Big Rich says natural is the way to go. Doesn't feel like Yule without a natural tree. When I was growing up, we had natural trees all the time. And one year we even went out and cut our own, like in the forest and everything. That was back when we lived in upstate New York. And I like the smell of natural trees. And it's just, you know, as long as you keep it watered, there's no danger. You know, everybody's like, oh, it's a fire hazard, but so is everything else, you know. So, you know, I like natural trees. Daniel Adami is not a troll. That was child labor. Heck yeah. No, they got a small one. It's like literally like 4 feet tall. We used to go out and cut our trees when I was a kid, Peterbilt Mark said. Yeah, as I grew older, we lived in Phoenix, and you ain't cutting no trees out there, so I can't, but I think we still got natural trees. Of course, they were harder to find, because by the time they hit the markets there in Phoenix, they were already they're all dead, but they're like all dried up, you know. But now, if you're a Landstar driver, if you're a new Landstar driver, you've probably tricked into doing some Christmas tree loads. I don't recommend doing Christmas tree loads because they're a huge, huge pain in the butt. Dan says, my wife can't handle a natural tree. She hates bugs. Well, that's a good valid point. However, if you live in a colder climate, most of the bugs are going to die when it gets below freezing, right? I mean, that's what I think. It's not like the trees are, you know, not putting up a tree this year, says Anthony. We thought about it because of the dang cats, but last year, cats were even younger. And what we did is we you know how most fake Christmas trees have got the branches until you get to the top part. Then you just put the top on and, you know, it's already pre-branched, for lack of a better term. And that's all we did. We really couldn't reach it. It looked kind of weird, but it was effective, you know. Mark says never had any bug problems. They die in a week and needles all over the place. Yeah, that's the only bad part about a natural tree is you got the needles. And the cats seem to have taken a liking to drinking the water out of the tree base. So I don't know what that's about. So they're all hopped up on pine sap or something. I don't know. So they make a mess in the trailer. Rick Jones says, yeah. In fact, there are certain trailers that if you have a certain trailer with the wooden sides, Landstar doesn't even want you taking Christmas trees. And they will not pay for a washout. Is that a Zima you're drinking, Snorlord? No, Daniel. No. Does that look like a Zima bottle? Sap all over the place. Rick, I don't know. I haven't really seen a sap issue. Decorate trees with fruit and candles to honor Odin, says Big Rich. Well, I think that's what the ornaments represent, right? Is fruit. Now, candles, now you're definitely playing with fire. That's probably right, Anthony T. I just didn't want to mention it. Don't want YouTube to go, oh, we can't monetize that because you said something, you know. Shadow Wolf says, you are right. I did a tree load a few years back out of Washington to the East Coast, and that was working nasty too. Had to go on a reefer trailer. Won't do it again. Also, Shadow Wolf, did you have to stop, like, I don't know, was it once a day to get them watered? Like, they had to throw ice in there? In a dry van, you have to, like, get them iced down. So, after so many 100 miles, you got to stop and get them iced down. That way they stay moist. In a reefer, that you may not have to do that as much, but at least with the reefer, your floors and walls are smooth. Whereas, you know, dry van, those needles get in all the nooks and crannies of wood. Just Truckin' asked, do you think ELDs will make rates go up? The speculation is there. DAT is projecting that rates will stay like they are right now for the next couple of years, which is good. McGee Films, what's up? I don't think they'll skyrocket. I think they'll just hold steady. And then what's going to happen is these shippers and receivers that make you run out of your hours and then don't let you spend the night on the yard, a lot of those shippers are going to start having to pay because companies are going to charge them, and companies won't want to go in there unless there's a high rate per mile. That's how it works. The bigger pain in the butt your place is to go to, the more money the company can ask for. And if no one likes going to your place and you're not paying enough, guess what? Your freight doesn't get picked up. So everybody's worried about a lot of the shippers and receivers, and I honestly think that they'll fall in line eventually, but not completely. The other thing you're going to find is you're going to find people that are going to learn how to fudge the ELD. They're going to learn how to fudge the computer, not realizing that there's a mark on there already. I talked to a driver today that the company told him to disregard his electronic logs and made him drive over his hours. I had to correct him and said that you're the captain of that ship. They can't make you do anything. If you get put out of service, that's on you. Well, it's a mark against them, but you're playing with fire. The reason, one of the positive things about ELDs is that your company can't force you to do stuff that you used to have to do, impossible runs and whatnot. So a lot of that should go out the window. However, the conversation I had with a particular driver this afternoon, he had the red triangle, and they told him to keep going. I wish all companies had the customer rating system like Schneider does. Anthony T. Yeah. And I don't know if it does any good, really. No, just ran like hell, and we had to off the things. Yeah. Says Shadow Wolf. Sorry, I'm bad about reading comments sometimes, guys. The Schneider rating system, what that does is that gives Schneider proof of a place that tends to be hard to work with. And if they're hard to work with, then they could raise the rates. If the company is horrible, and then, like, say Swift or somebody else comes in and underbids us, well, then they'll deal with the same things. And eventually they'll go through all the mega carriers trying to be the cheapest. And eventually they'll go to a mom and pop company that's desperate and will put up with their crap. But then those companies will have trouble with turnover because they can't keep drivers because they're putting them in crappy conditions. So crap rolls downhill, but it can also roll uphill too, if that makes any sense. So, that's the hope anyways. Transland went through a period when I was there. When we went to E-Logs, a lot of us lost revenue. A lot of things you had to readjust. The load planners had to adjust. The dispatchers had to adjust. And eventually the customers fell in line, and the ones that don't dropped the company. And then 6 months later, we were back with the contract because you get what you pay for a lot of times. Big Rich says, I messed around with mine a few days ago. I can turn my Bluetooth off and drive off duty, but it tracks mileage whenever Bluetooth is on. If rates go up, then product on the shelves is going to go up to compensate the rise in shipping. Either way, we pay for it. You make a good point, Mike Mentor. Alan Bequette, what's up? You sound tired? I kind of am. Reefer set at 34 when I was running trees. Okay. Says Bandit. The companies can edit logs if needed, but that's a rare instance. Owner ops would probably be able to edit their own logs, but they might do it too much and get busted. If I know correctly, a lot of these smaller ELD companies, if you do a mark, if you change something, even the Qualcomm, there's like a red mark where something's been changed. So if you pull the fuse out or try to unplug the thing, then there's a red mark that comes up there. I remember one time I was in Houston, Texas, and all of a sudden I got this weird error on my Qualcomm, and it said I was in New Jersey for literally 5 minutes and then put me back. And so when you went to look at my logs, it showed a fault, which means that there was 5 minutes that weren't recorded because of some kind of weird issue. And the fact that it showed New Jersey was weird. I was like, I don't even like going to New Jersey, let alone go from Houston to Jersey back to Houston in 5 minutes. That would be crazy. I'm bad at that, never used it. Says McGee Films. Love the Odin comment, says Alan McQuett. Are you Odinist like Thor there, Alan? Chilling at the house, McGee. How are you doing, says Big Rich. Yes, all changes are flagged, says Mark. Bandit, that's what I think I ran mine on, but not quite sure. But them tree needles were all over the place to include in the bulkhead, which was a mess. I bet. Good deal, Alan. Praise Olin. Trucker Eric Journeys, what's up? Reminds me of the D&D days, says Alan. My wife was big into that. I never got into it. My oldest daughter, she's heavily into that. Um, I'm into the Dragonlance books, if that's anything. So, um, the first two trilogies are the best. So, every now and then I'll go back and read them every couple of years, reread them. I've got them on my Nook now, so they're more enjoyable. I was late on doing my taxes because I just kind of shut out the world and read those books. So this year I'm trying to be super good, make sure the taxes are on time, make sure everything's good. So I've got a lot of time off coming up, and hopefully we'll get things done like a good owner-op should. Trucking Wyoming, last trip of the year, says Eric Journeys. I haven't been to Wyoming in a long time, and I do not miss it. Monday is going to be interesting, just trucking. You know what's funny is, if you guys follow Rate Per Mile Masters on Facebook, Chad Boblet, he's the lead head guy there. He's the one that started the page. And he said he had talked to a couple of drivers. One in particular didn't even know about the mandate. And you got to think about that for a second. Out there are owner-operators with their own authority that don't keep up on the regulations, that don't get on Facebook, they don't get on YouTube. They're completely in the dark. They're off the grid. And they're running paper logs with their flip phones, and they have no clue of what's coming down the line. And I think that was interesting that there are people out there that clueless, because I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, it's been a topic of discussion with a lot of the YouTube truckers. It's been a topic of a lot of anger and discontent and hatred on Facebook, on Twitter, all the social media outlets. Anthony T, yes, I do. I do know Raceland in the books. You aren't missing much. Yeah, Eric, the last time I was in Wyoming, I was with, I want to say, it was with Transland. And I had a light load. It was in the summertime. And I remember coming around this turn. And the wind hit me and this bull hauler that was past me, who was empty. I watched two of his wheels come off the ground. We both slammed on our brakes. And we went from a quick 65 to a 55. And then we were doing 50 for quite a few miles till we got around the bend. McGee Films, thank you for bringing that up. Everybody check out CPAP Machine. He used to be called The Machine, and then he thinks that I forced him to change his name. I just made a suggestion, now he blames me. But he's got a channel, he's trying to go live, and he's still in experimental change. So he's a Snyder IC, if you guys are curious about that kind of thing. Wonder if I'll hit 2,000 before end of year. 2,000 what? Eric? 2,000 miles? So.
I just now got the notification that you're live.
Cool. Yeah, the notifications have been messed up, guys. I don't know what it is. I think YouTube's all kind of fried right now. Too many of us going live. So, but we got half of the normal amount of people in here, which is fine. I enjoy doing these, but everybody else is probably at Coach's channel going, "Hey man, let's talk about that." So, my goal is 100 subs by the end of the year, McGee Films. Everybody check out McGee Films, help him get up to 100. Another Snyder IC, he's got a pit bull that rides with him. And, he's making it work. Big Rich says, I had that problem, Snorlord. I deleted and reinstalled YouTube, then I reset settings. Oh, okay. Sun Chaser is here. I'm normally heavy in Wyoming. Oh, 2,000 subs. Okay. So I think I'm up to, what am I up to? Let's see what I'm up to here. I am at 2261. So my channel has been growing consistently. Don't know why. Don't know why. I don't ruffle anybody's feathers that I know of. So McGee is at 91, so almost there. Yeah, Dan, he can make it. See, there's 92. Already subbed to him, I think. Yeah, a lot of times, like Big Rich, he's one. If you type in Big Rich into the search on YouTube, his channel doesn't come up without a little bit of digging. So I think I had Burger send me a link to one of his live feeds. You all right?
Yeah, my back does not like me. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right. Anyways, what was I talking about?
Burger sound.
Oh, yeah, Burger sent me a link to Big Rich's page, and then I just go to history now. But then I think he deleted a few of your live feeds there, Big Rich. And I told you guys this morning, but we'll say it again because I made that video private. Is if you have a video you don't like, don't delete it. Just make it private. Edit it to make it private. That way you don't lose the analytics on it. I mentioned that this morning, but due to the request of a friend, there were some topics talked about on that video, and I decided to not make that public because we don't need to be feeding the trolls. Man, I got extremely peed off trying to edit stuff, so I deleted everything. CPAP Machine's channel isn't coming up either. Well, if he'd come in here, you guys could click on his thing. He comments on my videos a lot, so just go to my video comment section, and he's probably in there. So that's another good way to find. I had a sub fest in James Best's feed last night. Anthony C said, "Yeah, I was in there too." You go to James Best's feed, and there's like everybody's got a blue wrench. So, but Brent in Florida, what's up? So, but is there anything else you guys want to talk about? My lives always go private, says Trucker Eric Journeys. So, YouTube's been fairly quiet this evening, so that's good. I like Stormburger in the 2 videos I have up, says Big Rich. So yeah, everybody subscribe to Big Rich, McGee Films. Just subscribe to anybody that's in here. Anybody's in this chat. So, Mike Mentor, what would you do for work if it didn't involve trucking or music? I don't know. I used to be a welder. I used to be a pretty good cook. I don't know if I could do food service anymore unless I own the restaurant. Wouldn't mind being a bartender, but I would need training with that.
That's what I was about to say. You should tin bar so you can put your counseling skills to use.
Yeah. Yeah, I can counsel when you're a bartender. Cheap labor, right? That's pretty much it. The problem I didn't like about welding was that I got tired of being laid off. I got tired of manufacturing practices. But I got pretty good at it. I could MIG and TIG, steel, aluminum, stainless, and what's the other one? Galvanized. Galvanized is nasty. Welding's one of those careers you do for 10 years, then you do something else if you haven't moved up the ladder, because it is extremely bad for your health. Just Truckin' says librarian. I know a couple of people that are librarians. Big Rich, I'm not reading that out loud. Anthony says he saw Jeffrey earlier. He was enjoying cookies. Mike Mentor says welding is fun. I would love to get a small welder and just mess around. I've got the right plugins too in my garage. I've got 2 months to go company before I can go IC. Is there any way to add addendums to the contract to prevent loss of revenue due to wait times, empty searches, etc.? No. Big Rich, that's just, or Alan, that's kind of the, you get paid for empty trailer searches if they're over 25 miles out of route, or 50 miles, I'm sorry, 50 miles. You get $25 for box movement. So basically the only time you don't get paid for trailer movement is if it's between 25 and 49 miles out of route. Our detention policy, it flat out sucks. It's 6 hours. And don't know why. I think we're the only ones that are that bad. I know Tyson drivers don't get any. And they do a lot of grocery shippers, so that would be kind of horrible. But that's just the nature of the beast. That's just how it is. Situations like what I went through this week, you're going to lose revenue. That's why you got to be prepared. When it rains, it pours. Sometimes it's feast or famine. So as long as you're prepared for the bad times, and then here's the beauty. If you do a load for a particular customer and it goes wrong or the trailer pool's all messed up, then you don't do it again. So, and you're going to have times when you're going to go to a place for an empty. Hey, what are you doing, cat? Check it out. You guys want to see the cat that's in the thumbnail? She does not like to be held. Check it out. Hey, kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. But that's the beauty of the choice program, is if a customer has flat out made you mad, you just don't do them again. You learn your lesson, lick your wounds, and you move on. How many times, if your dispatcher sent you a place you told them you don't want to go, and they send you there anyways? Why? Because you're the only truck that can do it. You're the only truck in that area. Does that sound familiar, Pale Rider? You're the only truck that could possibly, out of 200 trucks, you're the only one that could pick this load up in the middle of Dallas, Texas. You're the only one. Like BS. That's BS. Not to mention all the burns. Yeah, I've got a few burns just trucking from my welding days. Big Rich says I was in nursing and in EMS. That's cool. Yeah, don't breathe that galvanized. It's poisonous. Yeah, Mike Mentor, what we had is we had these ventilation, like basically big vacuums. And you literally put it on the place where you weld. You had to run your welder a little bit hotter. And basically I never breathed any of it. It was awesome. And it's ugly too, man. You can't get a pretty weld from galvanized, man. There's just too much crap there. Peterbilt Mark says, take care, guys and gal. I'm going to go see the new Star Wars movie. Just Drunk says, I'd be homeless living under a bridge and eating out of a hubcap if I could sell my truck. Anthony says, I did landscaping 24 years, poor driving a truck, not much of a variety. Brent says, I've seen every Star Wars movie in the theater, including the first one in 1977. My age is showing. The only one that I missed in the theater was Clone Wars. That's the only one. Maybe, yeah, I think that's it. I also saw the original Star Wars in 1977 as a kid. Because I remember my sister, she took me, I was like 5. She had to read the beginning credits, She had to read it off. Was U.S. Forest Service firefighter. I've been an EMT basic since 18 and volunteer firefighter when I'm not trucking. Good video on my channel with me inside a burning house, says Trucker Eric Journeys. They just tell you what you want to hear, right, McGee Films? I hear that story all the time. It's always an IBF Tyson load. Right, Anthony? Yeah, what's funny is I had a friend of mine that drove for KLM who did the Tyson account, okay? And if him and another Tyson driver showed up at, say, Cisco at the same time, same appointment time, and they both took 8 hours to unload, well, my friend at KLM got detention, whereas the Tyson driver did not. And the Tyson drivers weren't happy with that result. Learning how to weld is on my bucket list. Seems like one of those skill sets that everyone should have. It can come in very handy when needed. You're right, Brent. And I learned by the School of Hard Knocks. I was a grinder for Tracker Marine, building boats. And I had a little bit of welding experience from my auto body shop classes that I had in high school. And, well, every time I would grind the edges of the boat down, if I found a hole, well, I'd have to stop what I was doing, bug one of the other welders in the station, and have them come over and weld it. They finally put a welder in my station. I got tired of waiting on the other welder, so I started doing it myself. And then a friend of mine took me under his wing, showed me some tricks and tips, and I practiced on the scrap out. Every free moment I have, I was practicing in the scrap bin. And then I passed their welding test, and then they bumped me up to a welder, and I was making good money. When the job was good and the bosses weren't being a-holes, I enjoyed that job. However, like all good things, it came to an end, and that plant is no longer around. Everybody was laid off or displaced. Only one friend that I know that I worked with is still welding for them. And, that's it. And he's one of the ones that helped me a lot too. Wire is the easiest to learn, in my opinion. Right, Mike, you're right. Pale Rider T says new video edited, rendered, and uploaded to YouTube for 0500 release tomorrow morning. You guys talking about that calendar? It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what that is. I think Pale Rider's still loadless. Let's talk about that for a second. I had several conversations with people today about how weird the load board. Mike Mentor, talked with him today. If you're a Schneider IC, but this also goes with any company you work for, the load cancellation rates are going up. A lot of last minute stuff they thought they needed was not ordered. Like Amazon, what they'll do is they'll order 10 trucks to guarantee that they got those trucks, but then they'll only need 6. So then you got 4 canceled loads. There's a lot of, if you're working the broker boards, there's a lot of misinformation, I guess is a better phrase, where brokers will tell you anything you want to hear just to get you here, there, and everywhere, and not realizing that the plant or wherever you're picking up is shut down, or they're on minimal staff and the trailer's not loaded yet. I think that's what Pale Rider's dealing with. Little things like that happened the last week before Christmas. It's just all it is. Anthony says, seen a lot of people complain about no loads yesterday and today. Right, everything's winding down. It's the end of the year, people. And just 1 week after Christmas, that's the end of the year. So a lot of places do inventory, so they're not shipping anything. And, most everything's in the stores now. It has been in the stores. So, Pale Rider TV says, Daniel Adami went to pick up a flatbed load with the dry van. That's happened to me one time. I went to the shipper and like, what are you doing here? Just trucking. How many loads do you plan at a time? It varies. I tend to book, like if I, like Saturday morning when I'm on the low board, I'll book for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll book up until Wednesday, whether that's one load or three loads, depending on the miles. And then Tuesday, when I see how well things are going and when I'm going to deliver on Wednesday, then I'll start looking for Thursday, Friday. And then on Thursday, I start looking for Saturday, Sunday if I'm going to stay out. Monday morning is the worst possible time to be booking loads because that's when everything's all screwed up. I don't care who you work for, what load boards you're working off of, Landstar, Schneider, open load boards. They're all messed up on Monday mornings. Monday afternoon is a peak time to make some money in the spot market because after they figure out what hasn't been shipped and what hasn't gone, then they want it there yesterday. And Friday late is a good time to get top money for the weekend, and that's usually when I find good loads for the weekend. In the Schneider world, there's a lot of relays on the weekend. There's a lot of relays in general this time of year because they're trying to get their company drivers home. So a lot of company drivers are picking up loads and then taking them to the OCs, and then the ICs that want to work over the holidays can grab them and make some pretty decent coin. McGee Film says this week was rare, but I don't book ahead anymore. I have been finding out, and I talked about this to Christian Trucker, Berger, and Gary Compton, that I've been doing better with last minute loads. Like for example, I got a load book going from Springfield to St. Louis, and I'm not even looking on the load board for anything else because tomorrow's Sunday, and very rarely do things confirm before Monday morning. I bet you anything, Monday afternoon, I'm going to look on the load board and find exactly what I need to get me back to the house. That seems to how it works. And this time of year is definitely good for last minute. Eric Journey says, I always load on Monday, unload, reload on Thursday. I'm booked up 3 weeks in advance. Anthony says, it's funny when you show up at a shipper for a Lowe's load with the reefer and all the trucks there are flatbed. The looks I got was priceless. Right? There's a shipper we pick up not too far from here that it's only reefer trailers that go in there, but we're hauling pallets. So big, ugly, orange dry van is, sticking out like a sore thumb. They kind of look at you funny. What are you doing here? Oh, you're a pallet load. Oh, okay. And then they kind of they freak out. So. Steve Berger, Lord of Snore, was a long day. What's going on, Berger? Everybody check out S. Berger's channel. Another Schneider IC. 4.5 hours to get a trailer. Wow. Stuff like that can make this job kind of hard. Yeah, that's the other thing. A lot of loads that are supposed to be drop and hook aren't. And a lot of loads that are live load or live unload may be delayed. Where I delivered at last night, they asked me if it was a drop or a live unload. I'm like, well, do you have empty trailers here? And they're like, I don't know. Like, well, it's listed as a live unload, so let's just do that. Because I didn't want to go through a trailer search up in the Kansas City area. So it was worth it because I had plenty of time and I was just going home anyways. Same on the DAT is called the 3 o'clock hustle. Benjamin Duke says, booking later for the load that we're cheap and then it's above lane rate, but there's usually some junk going on with the load. Dan Isaac, what's up? Sunchase says, I'm glad I don't do drop and hook anymore. Sunchaser, it has its moments, man. The good parts is that you can get in and out of places, especially 24-hour places. Bad part is you don't know what you're going to get trailer-wise. I kind of crave the days when I had one trailer, which has been rare, actually. Trucker Tucker. What's up? I think Landstar, I tried to keep the trailer as long as I could. I didn't do too many dropping hooks if I could help it. Usually you did on the pickup side, not the delivery side. Because at Landstar, if you lose your trailer, it could be days before you get another one. Their pool is nothing like Schneider's. You know. Just hanging out at the house. Hope your weekend is good. It's all right. It just started today. Took the wife and kid out to dinner. Been sitting here watching the Chiefs and the Chargers. Who's winning?
Chiefs still.
See, Kansas City Chiefs tend to choke at the last minute. What's the score?
13-30.
13-30. Oh, looks like the Chiefs might pull this one out.
I think, yeah. Well, I mean, they've got 2 minutes left, so
yeah,
they could still throw it away.
Chiefs are known for that. So.
Of course, I thought they were going to throw it away last week, and they surprised me. So who knows?
No spoilers, Tucker. I'm glad you enjoyed it, though. Eric says, we only deal with In-N-Out customers 2 hours most. We get held up. Well, that's cool. That's the way to do it. Here's the thing with the ELD mandate. There's going to be a service called Final Mile. JB Hunt already does it. Where if you can't make it there, you can hire somebody to pick up your trailer and take it there for you. That's going to be a new service. People are going to find inventive ways to get around this ELD mandate, and there's money to be made. If you're innovative, if you're smart up here, and figure some problems out, you can stand to make some money. So, now in my opinion, if the shipper messes up your hours where you can't get the load on time, then it's all on them. Like in our world, you don't get a service failure for that. Big Ray says, man, I've been looking for loads up towards the Harrisburg, Scranton area. 81 or nothing, haha. Just trucking. I dropped today and no empty, so I drove 158 miles to the house. I drove 178 miles to the house. Actually, it was a little bit further than that. So. Yeah, we know, Eric. You don't have to be on E-Logs yet. We know. Did you guys watch Buck Wild Trucking? Did you watch his latest video? The company he drives for is still on paper, or was as of the time that he did that video. It's Ron Duncan. He used to drive for Bellaflor. In fact, I did a video with him giving him a CD. And he had a lot of delays at each of the customers he was at. And I comment on this video that he was looking at his customers were in for a reality check when it comes time for the ELD mandate. Because what he pulled off, there's no way it's going to be done with the amount of time he did it when he's on E-Logs. When I drove for Celadon, they always change appointment times if they think you won't make it, even if you can, says Anthony. Right, and that's the beauty of the choice program. If there's a load I don't think I can do, then I don't do it. Battleborn, hello, did I miss anything? You didn't miss a darn thing, man. There's no issues going on here, man. We're just having a laid-back evening. And just, the open Saturday night question and answer that you guys are always asking about. And I have a good signal, whereas last Saturday I didn't. Why won't the name highlight orange? What am I doing wrong? Says Big Rich. I don't know how that happens. You home for the rest of the week, Snore? No, Dan. I've got a load that I'm picking up Tuesday. And then I'll probably be home Thursday at the latest. Yeah, Anthony, I had my cat. The one that was in the thumbnail. He kind of climbed up on my desk, which my desk is kind of pathetic. Larry Fisher, what's up? Yeah, Big Rich, if you highlight the name highlight, you won't see it. So I don't see it either. Unless it's in the chat. Let me look here. Oh, no, I don't see it there either. Nope. Got the chat right here. So, all right, guys. I think we're going to end this live feed. It's almost at an hour. I really don't have much to talk about at this point. Dan Isaac, I thought I heard you say something earlier in the week that you were going to take the rest of the week off. Maybe I heard wrong. Well, that was the original plan until I screwed my load up, Dan. If you go back to the last 2 videos I did, I made a mistake and it cost me the whole week. My original plan was to be empty Thursday morning, then I was going to go home. However, they had to redo my appointment to Friday at 7 p.m. And then I could have been home last night, but I didn't feel like driving until 2 in the morning. So to get home at 2 in the morning, wake everybody up, and deal with the parking and all that stuff, I'd rather just do another 10-hour break and then come home this morning, which is what I did. Anthony bought some MD 2020. So that's what's going on, Dan. No, it's all right. All right, Brent, Florida, everyone have a good evening. Drive safe. All right, guys, this has been a good live feed. No drama. No BS. No crap. Well, the responsibility of being a businessman that made a small bio that got complex. Dan had his best week ever this week. All right, Dan Isaac, I'm going to use this opportunity to tell you, I told you so. You just got to have a little patience, sir. It's going to take a minute to learn the program. I told you. Chuck Eric says, my lives are always good. Thank you, Eric. Guys, that's why I put out that video. You got to hang in there, man. It's not easy. And you're going to get a groove, man. You're going to get a groove. And when you find that groove, you're going to fly. You're going to fly. So, anyways, looking at my live feed here on the tablet. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Click on the bell if you like this live feed. Hit the thumbs up. Because that's just what we do, I guess. Helps my analytics. The better my analytics are, the more I can help you guys. You know why? Because that makes my channel more popular, and the more popular it is, then I can reach out and make a positive impact on the trucking industry, which is what we're all about, right? We're not wanting to create drama or division. We're wanting everybody to be happy out here because everybody's just miserable and we're tired of that. So, with that being said, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you next week.